Mr. Beast faces off against a ruthless TV host who tries to expose his charity as a scam. But what happens next will leave you shocked. Watch as Mr. Beast completely destroys the host with facts and receipts. Bright studio lights shine down on the sleek modern set of The Prime Debate, a popular TV show hosted by Ethan Carter, a well-known liberal commentator. Dressed in a sharp black suit with a red tie, Ethan sits with a smug grin, tapping his fingers on the desk as he prepares for the next segment. The audience murmurs with anticipation. Tonight's guest is none other than Mr. Beast, the YouTube philanthropist known for his jaw-dropping generosity. The camera zooms in as Mr. Beast walks onto the stage, dressed in his usual blue hoodie, black jeans, and white sneakers. A few audience members cheer, while others exchange puzzled glances. Compared to Ethan's formal attire, Mr. Beast's casual outfit looks completely out of place in the glamorous studio. Ethan leans back in his chair, eyeing Mr. Beast from head to toe with a smirk. "Wow, Mr. Beast himself. Jimmy, great to have you here, but, He pauses dramatically, tilting his head. "Did you forget we were filming a TV show and not one of your garage YouTube videos?" The audience chuckles. Mr. Beast smiles politely, but before he can respond, Ethan continues. "I mean, come on. You're the richest YouTuber in the world. You give away cars, mansions, even islands, but apparently you can't afford a decent suit?" Laughter ripples through the crowd. Ethan's eyes gleam, knowing he's landed a solid punch. Mr. Beast shifts slightly in his chair but maintains his calm demeanor. "I don't really think fancy clothes define a person," he replies smoothly, but Ethan is quick to cut him off. "Define a person? Jimmy, buddy, listen." Ethan leans in, lowering his voice for dramatic effect. "You do all these charity stunts, giving away money to random people, buying houses for strangers. But let's be real. If you really cared, wouldn't you at least present yourself like a real philanthropist? Or are you just playing the part for clicks?" The room falls silent for a moment. Mr. Beast's fans in the audience exchange uneasy glances. Some nod in agreement while others shift uncomfortably. Mr. Beast folds his hands together, his expression unreadable. He's used to criticism, but this is different. This isn't about his content. It's a direct attack on who he is as a person. Ethan leans back, satisfied. He thinks he's won this round. But then Mr. Beast slowly smiles, a knowing, almost mischievous smile. "You think my clothes make me less of a philanthropist?" he asks, his voice steady. Ethan raises an eyebrow. "I think it makes you look like a guy who got lost on his way to a McDonald's." The audience bursts into laughter. Ethan basks in the reaction, believing he has successfully humiliated Mr. Beast. The laughter still echoes through the studio, but Mr. Beast remains completely unfazed. He calmly looks at Ethan, his smile growing wider, not in embarrassment, but in amusement. The audience starts to notice. Wait, why isn't he reacting the way Ethan expected? "So, let me get this straight," Mr. Beast says, leaning forward slightly. "You think my hoodie and sneakers make me unqualified to be a philanthropist?" Ethan smirks. "I think they make you look unserious. You're handing out millions, Jimmy, but you dress like a high school dropout who plays video games all day." Some audience members chuckle, but this time there's hesitation. The mood has shifted slightly. Ethan is pushing harder, but Mr. Beast doesn't look shaken at all. In fact, he looks amused. Mr. Beast chuckles. "That's interesting." Ethan blinks. "What is?" "That you think clothes define a person's worth." Mr. Beast adjusts his hoodie sleeve casually. "You know, Einstein wore the same outfit every day. Steve Jobs, too. Zuckerberg still does. Maybe they should have worn tuxedos so people would take them seriously." A few people in the audience murmur in agreement. Ethan's smirk falters just a little. But Mr. Beast isn't done. He leans back, his expression turning sharper. "You know what's funny, Ethan? You're mocking my clothes like it means something, but I guarantee you. Mr. Beast gestures towards the audience. There are people here wearing $1,000 suits who haven't helped a single person in their life. A hush falls over the room. The energy has shifted. Ethan scoffs, trying to regain control. Oh, come on. I never said you had to wear a tux, Jimmy. Just look the part. Mr. Beast chuckles again. Look the part? What part is that? He gestures at Ethan's sharp suit. Because, man, if wearing an expensive suit is all it takes to be a real philanthropist, then half the billionaires on Wall Street must be saints, right? A ripple of ooh moves through the crowd. The audience is turning. Ethan's jaw tightens. This is not how it was supposed to go. Mr. Beast continues, his voice completely calm. See, Ethan, I don't give away millions because I want to look rich. I do it because I actually care. That's the difference between me and people who need suits to prove their worth. The crowd murmurs louder. Some even nod. Ethan's face twitches. Then Mr. Beast drops the final blow. Besides, if wearing fancy clothes made someone a good person, wouldn't you be the most charitable guy in the room? The audience gasps, then explodes into laughter and cheers. Ethan clenches his jaw. For the first time, he looks genuinely uncomfortable. Mr. Beast smiles, relaxed, in control. He just flipped the entire situation. But this is only the beginning. Ethan isn't done yet. The studio is still buzzing from Mr. Beast's mic drop moment. Ethan Carter, the host, forces a laugh, but his frustration is obvious. He didn't expect Mr. Beast to turn the tables so effortlessly. He leans forward, gripping the edge of his desk. All right. I'll admit, that was a decent comeback. He forces a smirk, but his eyes gleam with something sharper. He's not done. But let's cut through the feel-good nonsense, Jimmy, Ethan continues, his voice taking on a more aggressive tone. You talk a big game about generosity. You give away cars, houses, cash, but let's be real. You're not a philanthropist. You're a businessman. You profit off every good deed you do. A murmur spreads through the crowd. Some nod in agreement. Others shift uncomfortably. Mr. Beast stays completely calm. He knew this was coming. Oh, he says, raising an eyebrow. And how do you figure that? Ethan leans back, crossing his arms. Let's look at the facts. He gestures to the screen behind them where clips of Mr. Beast's videos start playing. Millions of views. Millions of dollars in ad revenue, sponsorship deals. Every time you help someone, your bank account gets bigger. His voice sharpens. You're not giving out of kindness. You're running a business disguised as charity. The crowd reacts. Some whisper, others murmur agreement. Ethan smirks, sensing an opportunity to regain control. Mr. Beast finally leans forward, clasping his hands together. So let me get this straight. He speaks slowly, deliberately. Because I make money while helping people, that somehow makes my charity fake? Ethan shrugs. I'm just saying if you were really selfless, you wouldn't film it. You'd just give. The audience gasps. A few people clap. Ethan sits back, satisfied. He thinks he's won. But then Mr. Beast chuckles. A genuine, amused laugh. Ethan's smirk fades. That's the dumbest argument I've ever heard, Mr. Beast says, shaking his head. The audience reacts loudly. Some laugh, some gasp, and some cheer. Ethan stiffens. Excuse me? Mr. Beast tilts his head. Let me ask you this, Ethan. Have you ever donated to charity? Ethan blinks, caught off guard. Of course. Did you ever mention it on TV or social media? Ethan pauses. He knows where this is going. Well, yeah, but that's different. Mr. Beast leans in. How? Silence. The audience is hooked. See, Ethan, you claim that if I was really selfless, I wouldn't film my charity work. He gestures at the camera. But here's the thing. You don't understand how charity actually works. Ethan opens his mouth to speak, but Mr. Beast doesn't let him. The more people watch my videos, the more ad revenue I get. The more revenue I get, the more I can give away. If I stop filming, I stop making money. If I stop making money, I stop helping people. He shrugs. Tell me, Ethan, how exactly is that a bad thing? The audience erupts, cheers, claps, even a standing ovation from a few people. Ethan clenches his fists under the desk. He's losing. And then Mr. Beast drops the final bomb. Or maybe you just don't like the fact that a guy in a hoodie is doing more good than half the politicians and billionaires in suits. The crowd loses it. Cheers, whistles, shouts. Ethan's face turns red. He has no comeback, but Ethan Carter isn't the type to go down without a fight. The studio is electric. Cheers, whistles, and murmurs fill the air. Mr. Beast has completely flipped the conversation, and Ethan Carter knows it. He's losing control of his own show. But Ethan isn't done yet. He takes a slow breath, masking his frustration with a smug smile. If he can't win the argument, he'll attack from another angle. He adjusts his red tie, leans forward, and smirks. All right, Jimmy. You got me. You made some decent points. The audience quiets down. Something about his tone feels off. But, Ethan continues, pausing for effect, if you're such a great guy, if you really care about charity more than clout, then why don't we talk about the people who say you've exploited them for views? The audience gasps. Mr. Beast's expression remains calm, but the atmosphere shifts instantly. Ethan gestures to the big screen behind them. Suddenly, a video clip plays. A former Mr. Beast giveaway winner, looking upset. Yeah, he gave me a car, the person in the video says. But what people don't realize is I couldn't even afford the taxes on it. I had to sell it. I thought I was getting a life-changing gift, but instead I just got a huge bill. The audience murmurs uneasily. Ethan turns back to Mr. Beast, his eyes glinting with victory. This isn't an isolated case, he continues. We've seen multiple winners talk about how they struggled after winning your prizes. Some say you never followed up. Others claim the giveaways aren't as generous as they look. What do you have to say about that, Jimmy? For the first time in the entire show, the audience is split. Some look at Mr. Beast with uncertainty. Others whisper to each other. Ethan's strategy is working. But Mr. Beast, he's still calm. He sighs and shakes his head. Ethan, this is low. Even for you. Ethan smirks. Oh, so now I'm the bad guy for asking questions? Mr. Beast leans forward, his voice steady. No, you're the bad guy for twisting the truth. The audience shifts. Some nod. He's about to take control again. Let's be real, Ethan. Mr. Beast gestures to the screen. That guy got a free car? Yes, he had to sell it, but did he lose anything? He got cash instead. And guess what? He never had to pay a dime out of pocket. The audience murmurs in realization. The truth is, I always give my winners the option to take a cash alternative. If someone can't afford taxes, they get the money instead. Mr. Beast looks straight at the camera. But you didn't play that part of the video, did you? Ethan's smirk falters. Mr. Beast presses on. You cherry-picked the one person who complained, ignoring the thousands of people I've actually helped. He tilts his head. Do you even care about those people? Or do you just like drama? A few claps start, then more. The audience is turning again. Ethan clenches his jaw. He's losing his grip. But then, he plays his final, most ruthless card. All right, Jimmy, let's talk about your charity work outside of YouTube. His smirk returns. Mr. Beast blinks. Ethan nods toward the screen. Suddenly, a headline flashes up. MrBeast's Philanthropy company? Secretly a multi-million-dollar business? The audience gasps. Mr. Beast's expression finally shifts. Ethan's smirk grows. Yeah, Jimmy, let's talk about that. The audience is dead silent, staring at the headline on the screen. Ethan Carter leans back in his chair, arms crossed, his smirk practically oozing with confidence. So, Jimmy, he says, pausing for effect, you claim you're just a generous guy helping people. but your so-called philanthropy is actually a registered business worth millions. A few whispers ripple through the audience. For the first time tonight, some people look genuinely confused. MrBeast finally speaks, his voice calm but firm. Yeah, it is. And? Ethan blinks. He wasn't expecting that. And? That's all you have to say? MrBeast nods. What's the scandal, Ethan? That I set up my philanthropy as a business instead of a non-profit? He leans forward. Do you even know why? Ethan hesitates. He's not used to guests challenging him so directly. MrBeast continues, his voice gaining momentum. If I had made MrBeast Philanthropy a non-profit, I'd be drowning in government paperwork. I'd have to spend months applying for grants instead of actually helping people. He gestures toward the audience. By running it as a business, I keep full control. Every single dollar I make goes right back into charity. The audience starts to murmur, this time in agreement. MrBeast presses on. Ethan, you know who else runs charities as businesses? The Red Cross, Goodwill, St. Jude's. It's literally how major charities operate. He chuckles. But when I do it, suddenly it's a scandal? Ethan's smirk twitches. The crowd is turning on him again. MrBeast leans in, his voice sharper now. Let's be real, Ethan. This was never about my clothes, or my giveaways, or even my philanthropy. This was about you trying to take down someone doing good, because you don't like that I do it better than the billionaires you defend on this show. Boom! The crowd erupts in cheers. Some stand up, clapping. Others whistle loudly. Ethan's face darkens. He's lost. MrBeast sits back, completely relaxed. So, tell me, Ethan, what have you done to help people lately? Silence. Ethan clenches his jaw. His hand tightens into a fist on the desk, but he has no comeback. The audience sees it. They know it. And in that moment, MrBeast has officially won. The host clears his throat, forcing a tight smile. Well, that's all the time we have today. He glances at the cameras. Thanks for joining us. But the damage is done. As the cameras fade out, MrBeast stands up, shakes hands with the audience members, and walks off stage, leaving Ethan sitting there, defeated, humiliated, and fully exposed. The clip goes viral. Within hours, social media explodes. Ethan exposed trends worldwide. Clips of MrBeast's responses rack up millions of views. Even mainstream news picks it up. Ethan Carter's reputation takes a massive hit. His credibility is questioned. His past interviews are scrutinized. Meanwhile, MrBeast's fan base grows stronger than ever. And as for MrBeast, he's already working on his next big charity project. Because in the end, no amount of insults, hit pieces, or twisted narratives can stop a man who is genuinely changing lives. Don't miss this. What do you think about how MrBeast handled this shocking TV showdown? Was the host right, or did he go too far? Comment your thoughts below. If you love this story, hit that like button, subscribe for more insane stories, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. MrBeast fans, let's show some love. Drop a fire emoji in the comments if you support him.